Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Can everybody see and hear me okay? I don't know what happened, but something I clicked wrong and now I'm lost. Please, somebody tell me they can see and hear me okay. Anyone? You can't hear me. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Testing. You should be able to hear me. Now you can hear me, but you can't see me. Wow. Dang it. What happened? Let me try. How about now? Can you guys see and hear me? You saw the intro, but how about now? Can you? All right, now you can see me. Okay. I just had to I had to toggle the stupid video on and off. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I haven't streamed since last week, so I'm getting used, I'm just rusty. I've been photo walking all week. So let's see who's here. Wow, how's everybody doing? Oh, Ed, David Crooks. Oh, you're back. That's right. You are back. I did see a couple of pictures. David Crooks went out to take some pictures of tulips today. And Jan is here, Jeff Painter, Seraphin, Annette, good to see everyone. Marco, good to see you. Stephen Page, Peter, awesome. Wow, John Yutze, Thomas Zazowska, Soft Fun, sorry. Plato, Scott Mumford, my goodness. Leon, how are you? Oh, you're welcome for the 75 millimeters walk. I'll talk about, a little bit about that today. Um, let me let me get my screen straight real quick. There we go. So I think we all have been out this week. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. Um I had family come in from out of town uh and I've been just going on I've been on 5 photo walks this week. That's like more than I did all last year up till now. So that's a lot. I mean, not counting the photo walks I do with the photo club, but like on my own. I guess on my own I did 3 and I did 2 with the photo club, so 5 altogether. The photo club run by David Crooks here, who's local to me, and yeah, it's awesome joining a photo club. Um, how's your mom's birthday? It was a total bust. I had to phone it in. She didn't want to do nothing for her birthday. Uh, she left. She wasn't even home yesterday, so I got home and she said, "Oh, I went out to so and so's." I said, "All right, well, happy birthday. I love you, you know." And that was it. I guess at a certain point, she was never really into birthdays to begin with. Uh, for as long as I've known her, right, my whole life. I mean, it was my dad that always made a big deal out of the birthdays, and she just kind of played along. But especially her own birthday, she didn't care at all. But anyhow, so yeah, that was rough. And the audio is slightly out of sync. I'm not sure I can fix that before. Let me try and fix that real quick. Maybe if I refresh the screen. Is that any better? No, it's still out of sync. Uh, yeah, I can see it on the screen. It's a little bit out of sync. Let me check something. Testing 1, 2, 3. So my video video. My video is a little bit behind, so I can tag the audio a little bit. Audio is fine. All right, I'll just leave it. I'll I'll leave it. If it's out of sync, I hate when that happens. I don't know why. I gotta I haven't, like I said, I haven't streamed in a week, so it feels like forever. But yeah, I went on a lot of photo walks this week, and I vlogged 3 of the 5 that I went on. I don't vlog normally when I go on the photo walks with the photo club, because we're kind of there just to kind of get together and take photos together, not me vlogging, right? But I did go back either the next day or the day after to vlog on my own, and I posted 2 of them this week, and the response was pretty solid. I mean, they don't get a ton of views, but I really got great feedback from all of you on the photo walks I did this week. And really, what I'm trying to do, and it was, the weather was really nice, and my neck is feeling good, so that had a lot to do with it. But Leon here uh, put in the comments that before I did these vlogs, that he'd like to see me go out and do vlog with the 75 millimeter f1.8 lens, because I never used that lens. And Robin Wong, I guess last year sometime said the same thing in one of his videos, like, Rob Trek, go out and shoot with this lens. It's awesome. So I went out and took this lens, and it was tough. It was tough getting used to seeing the composition at that focal length. Because everything is so tight, it's very compressed, right? And I have to stand so far back a lot of times, unless I put the extension tubes on and I do some close-ups. But for the most part, trying to compose with that lens was a very different experience for me, because usually when I'm at 75 millimeters or higher, I'm like trying to do birds in flight or something far away, right? Like what you would normally think about with a telephoto, to kind of shoot things that are far away and bring them in closer. But when you're on a photo walk, the idea is really to try to compose with that focal length. So a lot of the shots I took were very technical, right? I was just trying to balance the colors, trying to balance the composition, make sure one side isn't too heavy, balance the lighting in the scene so it's not like, you know, just too bright in one corner or too dark in the other. It was it was a very technical approach to most of the photos, and I put most of them on Instagram. So if you check out my Instagram, which is over here, you can look at some of them. They're very, very. They're not great shots. They're just your typical rule of thirds or leading lines, or balancing the color. Just technical type shots. But when I went out this morning actually to Great Falls, because we went out as a group yesterday, and I just got there too late. I was only able to shoot for about 30 minutes before we left. But I went out and this morning for about 3 hours and did some photography with the 75 millimeter again. And I'll post that vlog tonight or tomorrow morning, because it takes about 6 hours for me to edit a vlog. So I don't know if I'm gonna have the energy to do it after the stream. But I'll post it either late tonight or tomorrow. Because my God, there's a boatload of clips. Let me see. I'll give you a little preview though. Let's see. There's a button here I need to push. It's number 4? No. Number 2. Cam right, cam left. Number 3. There we go. Number 3. Hello. Come on. Try one more time. Well, the hotkey's not working. There. I just did it manually. But anyhow, this is a little preview of today's photo walk. So it says I took 295 pictures here, but I was doing some pro capture. So probably, 200 of those is just pro capture stuff. Because I'll show you that this bird flew in. Yeah, these are the pro capture shots. Just, hundreds of those. I'm not a big fan of pro capture. I just, I shouldn't have used it for this scenario because these birds aren't very fast, right? They're turkey vultures or something. Uh, let's see. They were so dark, so I dialed in some exposure comp. But here's one. I got to edit this a little bit. Seriously, is everything going to freeze up and be slow today? Um, yeah. Here he is looking straight at me. But we'll, like I said, I'll post these up. But I did look at this. 81 video clips, not counting the video clips I have on the SD card that I haven't loaded into Lightroom yet. I'm only going to use maybe 2 or 3 clips out of the other video SD card. But there's 81 video clips and let's say 100 pictures that I got to weed through. And that's why it takes like 6 hours for me to do these. Because there's just clip after clip after clip. Uh, all right, how do I get back to this? I'll have a very smooth, polished stream one of these days. I don't know. Yeah, I'm saturating Instagram, right? And Andreas, yes, the it's a challenge to shoot with the 75. That's absolutely true. And I actually, Thomas, I was thinking about doing. Let me see if I can see if this button works. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe after this week, later this week, I might, because I've just been doing those sort of nature walks, right? Woodlands, flowers, waterfalls, etc. with that lens. But I'd like to try and do some architectural type shots because normally with architectural photography, I'm shooting like at 7 or 8 millimeters, like really wide. So 75 millimeters is like 10 times the focal length that I normally shoot with when I do architecture. So I might try and do some of that this week because that'll be a challenge, I tell you. Because like I said, I'm shooting super wide angle with architecture and shooting at 75. That'll be interesting. I have to find some place that has some interesting things to take pictures of at 75 millimeters. Because if I went to Old Town Alexandria, I feel like uh, I'm gonna get a picture of a few bricks and a few mailboxes, and that'll be it. Because in Alexandria, the streets are very narrow, and I can't get far enough back to get anything in the frame. But yeah, I want to try some architecture and then some astrophotography. But the the 75 millimeters actually is, despite being a very tight, long focal length, it's actually you can do a lot of different kinds of photography. Like I said, I was doing some close-up photography. I was doing woodland photography. I did some panoramas today, and I'm gonna do. And I've done astrophotography when I was out with Ben a couple of weeks ago. So I'm gonna show some astrophotography shots, but I haven't done like architecture. So I'm gonna try and do that this week. And if I can think of anything else, I'll throw that in. But actually in my vlogs, when I post the next one, just post a comment in the vlog if you want me to try any particular type of genre of photography. My imagination's pretty limited sometimes, especially with a lens like that. I can't think of a lot of things I can do with it. But it's turning. I'm turning a point now where when I'm looking at the scene, I can see in 75 millimeters now. Um, And today the shots were just a little bit more artsy fartsy. Okay, a little bit more artistic, a little more thought put into not just the composition and the technical things about it, but more emphasis on color and life and what what I was going. I tried. I don't know. We'll see. In the end, my photography is not that great. I try, especially when I'm shooting with a lens like that I never shoot with. I've used that lens more this week than I have the last 2 years that I've owned it. You know, um, but yeah, John Truman. I agree with you. Um, Marco, hoping to get the 100 to 400. Oh, that would be awesome. And soft funds looking to get to, yeah, the 75. Think hard before you buy one because I mean, it's a portrait lens, right? A lot of people talk about that lens as a portrait lens. But as a walk around photography, photo walk kind of lens, man, it's hard. I'm I'm struggling. I mean, I know the videos look like, I got some decent shots. I got a lot of great feedback on those photos, but it was it was hard. Um, I don't know if I'd recommend this lens for for just somebody getting started, right? I'd recommend the 17 or the 25, long before I recommend the 75 for just people getting started. Now, if you kind of want to experience shooting at 75 millimeters, you can get the 40 to 150 kit lens and shoot it at 75 millimeters and see how it goes before you buy a 75 millimeter prime, because that it's not a cheap lens, right? And it's not a focal length that's easy to walk around with, in my opinion. I I really struggled because it's like I'm so used to getting right up to the subject and shooting a little wider, but now I have to stand way back, you know. Sometimes like 10 or 20 meters back to get the shot and the composition that I want. Um, Otherwise, you're doing close-up photography. You're like getting in really close. And the close focusing distance on that without the extension tubes is, it's pretty far off. It's probably almost a meter. I mean, or it feels like it, but it's not. It's not this. It's like it's pretty far back. Um, but yeah, just it's an awesome lens, amazingly sharp. It is really sharp. It's funny because I shot with the kit lens a couple of times this week. And I could not believe the difference between my 14 to 42 kit lens and the 75 millimeter prime. There was a big difference in terms of sharpness and just clarity and contrast. I was like, wow, that 75 is I would argue is the sharpest lens I own right now, based on the results I'm seeing, because I had I got a 25 prime, the 17 prime. Um, 12 to 40 Pro, well, the 8 millimeter fisheye is pretty sharp, but everything looks sharp when it's a fisheye lens, right? So I really don't count that lens, but yeah, it's amazingly sharp. There is wide open. I have to do some more testing. Wide open, there is a lot of purple flaring, not flaring, but chromatic aberration. Um, that surprised me a little. It's not being corrected in the camera. Let me see if I can show you one. Let me go to a JPEG, because JPEG should correct for that. Like this bird. Let me see this bird. If I zoom in, yeah, it's not painfully obvious. Is this the JPEG? Yeah, this is a JPEG. So, but look at this. The eye here. It's very purple. It's purple all along here. It's purple all along here. You can see some purple flaring along the wing here. At least I can. I don't know if you guys can see this in the stream. Uh, and this was shot wide open. And let me see if I have anything. If I stop down to let's say F4. Let's see if I still get some. Let me find a shot that would have flaring on it. This one might. Yeah, it's pretty much gone at this point. I don't see any purple flaring. God, look how amazingly sharp this thing is. It's just shocking, you know? uh, but yeah, there was definitely, God, I shot a lot wide open. I was trying to do a little architecture while I was driving along, but I was easily, golly, a quarter mile away from this building to get it in the frame like this. Because I was shooting from the highway on my car on the way to the onto the Great Falls. Uh, but anyhow, I'm having fun with this lens, and I'm gonna do some more. Like I said, I'm gonna try and do architecture, maybe a photo walk, street photography type stuff, and that's gonna be really hard, depending where I go. Because as you saw, like that building, I was quarter mile away to get that whole building in. Normally, I can stand right in front of it with a fisheye and just click, and I got the whole building in the frame, right? But if I have to stand back, a half a mile to get the building in, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know what to do. um, let's see. DeMorgan says the 75 is great for botanical gardens. One sells a calendar that every shot is with the 75. People buy prints because they look different. Yeah, definitely. I did a lot of close-up shots in the first vlog. I didn't do any today, any close-up shots today in the photo walk, but like I said, I'll post that thing tonight or tomorrow, probably tomorrow, because it's just going to take a long time to edit that one. And let's see. What happened here? Bad accident. My EM1X along with 300 fell off the monopod. Ooh, breaking the lens off the camera. Both fell down steep banks, sinking into. Oh, wow. That sucks. Sorry to hear that, man. Oh, man. Wow, that's bad. What does Peter say here? For me, the Ollie 75 did not do it as a portrait lens, too long. I bought the Sigma 50 instead, 56 1.4. For me, that was it. Yeah, I used the 45. I did a portrait shoot with the 75. Uh, and yeah, it was so long. You have to stand like, so far away from your subjects that I didn't like it. So I switched over to the 45, and I don't even think about the 75 for portraits anymore. I mean, you can. I guess there's time and place for everything, but generally speaking, my go-to lens is going to be the 45 millimeter, and the 56 1.4 makes a lot of sense too. Everything I've seen from that lens has been awesome. Um, but since I have a 45, I probably won't bother getting that one. And what is this? Purple because of very bright backlight and blackbird high con. Yeah, exactly. But it's you always hear about how lenses are supposed to, good lenses are not supposed to do that. But honestly, I haven't found a lens that doesn't. But and you always have to stop them down a little. So I guess my expectations were too high, for this lens. What's this? Thomas says, I've got an intro for you. Shoot a new bumper. These are the images of one photography to boldly go where no Olympus camera has gone before. These are the. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid a Star Trek theme, right? Because Trek is supposed to mean travel in my case. Adventures of me going on photo walks. I like that, but that's a little bit too much of a rip off Star Trek. For those of you that don't know, I guess I put out somewhere, either on the forum or somewhere, I don't know where, but I was saying I need a. Somebody posted in my forum that, um, God, it's a lot of different things. Somebody posted on one of my videos that I shouldn't use bumpers in my videos. So I did a few videos without a bumper to see if anybody would notice. And the bumper being, where you kind of come in and you have that short little 5 or 7 second video clip that talks about your channel, right? Before you get into the video. And somebody posted in my forum that you need to put a bumper in your videos. So it's like no matter what I do, if I put a bumper in, people say don't use a bumper. If I take the bumper out, people are saying you should put the bumper in. Personally, I like the bumpers. They're just kind of fun for me. But um, I was thinking I should make several different kinds of bumpers that are short, 5 seconds. To put in a video before, just to say, here's my Instagram, subscribe, like, all of that stuff, right? Like every other channel does. Um, but a 5 second bumper would be okay. Maybe seven, depends what I want to put in there. But 5 to 7 seconds is about the limit you can do on a bumper, right? And so that's what Thomas is. That's why Thomas kind of came in with the bumper comment. It was in reference to that. And what is this? Standing the way back with the 75 cleans up the background so much more than the, yeah, it does. That's true. And uh what's this? Arthur. Hey Arthur, how are you? Why would you put a heavy camera and heavy lens balanced on a monopod? That's a tough and expensive lesson. Tripods only, really. Oh, I guess yeah, I don't use I think that's in reference to Range Rider. That's not yeah, I don't have any big heavy lenses for my Micro Four Thirds. The biggest one I have is the 75 to 300, which is, that's not heavy at all. And Steve Page asks, anyone asked the DxO Pure? Anyone use the DxO Pure Raw? Loads of people, right? I watched a few of the videos. Peter and Jimmy have one out, and then I read the article in DP Review about this software. And I guess if I was a real stickler for cleaning up noise and getting cleaner images, I would definitely buy it based on what I've seen. And I was pretty impressed with what I saw. It is clean and sharp and everything. And what they in the DP review video, they or article, they actually the guy tried to clean it up using just Adobe Lightroom or Photoshop and compared it against what DxO Pure Raw could do. And he still got better results with the DxO Pure Raw. And that's what kind of impressed me because I'm usually very content with just a little bit of noise reduction that I do in Lightroom or even Olympus Workspace. You just turn the noise filter on and it cleans up nicely. I'm pretty content with that. I don't see spending $100 for software that might do it a little better personally, um, because I'm not that sensitive to noise and grain and all of that. Right? It's like if I take a picture at higher ISOs, I know there's going to be noise and grain, so I compose or take the picture with that in mind, and and then it doesn't bother me. But if I had to produce clean images all the time in a low light environment, um, I would probably just use a full frame camera, you know, if I knew I was going to be in that situation, rather than trying to fight the sensor itself. I mean, I love Micro Four Thirds, but if you're shooting in a cave all the time, it's probably not the right camera for you. You need to get something with huge pixels on it to gather as much light. And it's, I mean, there's like I said, there's a time and place for everything. And I but if noise bothers you or grain bothers you and you want to clean up your images, that pure raw looks pretty impressive. And I I'm tempted to get it a little bit, not much, because like I said, I'm not that sensitive to noise and everything. When I shoot my professional work, architecture, real estate, it's all on a tripod. I use flash. I don't have to worry about noise and high ISOs, right? When I'm shooting my personal stuff, I just don't care, really. So um, that's my feelings on the on software. It's the same thing like with plugins, presets, all these things that people sell separately. My concern is more with the process of taking the picture and getting a good picture to begin with, and getting a good composition, telling a story, looking at the light, the forms, the lines, all of that stuff. Once you have a very strong base picture, um, then I can just do some minor edits in post processing, and I'm done. Like I watched a video by Simon Baxter, right? He's that woodland photography guy on YouTube, and you should definitely check him out if you're interested in woodland photography. Simon Baxter. But you know, I- he takes a lot of time to concentrate. He concentrates on the obviously the composition, which is like really hard to do in woodland, but he's got an eye for it, right? So he takes that picture, he gets the composition right. So he's got a beautiful image to start with, but he's also very conscious of the exposure and the highlights and the shadows and all of that, right? And then when he gets back home and he does editing, there was some video I watched this morning that he did it like 7 months ago. I watched him how he edits the photos, and he does a lot of gradients, right? He says, I want this a little brighter, I want this a little bit lighter. I'm going to add a gradient on this side because the light's too strong. I want to make sure I emphasize, this part of the image. So I'm going to brighten that up. And it's not like tons of edits, relatively speaking. I mean, he was probably done in 5, 10 minutes editing the picture, and he came out with an amazing result that the differences were very, very subtle between the original and the finished product. But the finished product just had that extra, sort of bite to it, right? That when you look at it, it's like, wow, that's an amazing image. But if you looked at the original raw image, you'd be like, wow, that's an amazing image. So I'm sort of in line with Simon Baxter's methodology or philosophy about doing photography, and that is capturing the image the best I can in camera, so that when I go to editing, it's a lot easier for me to just focus on what I was thinking at the time when I was in the field. And I all of the photos in these vlogs that I've been doing, I've been post processing just to give them a little bit more, you know, color, or a little bit on the highlights and shadows. I mean, I'm not doing major editing on any of these photos, but just enough to make them just stand out a little more. So that's I don't even know what I was talking about, but that's where I am with my photo editing and DxO Pure Raw. Uh, all of that stuff. I'm just not into buying presets and plugins and things like that. Because I've bought stuff before, and I'm not talking about plugins and presets, but like camera gear that I never use. And I feel like if I buy a plugin or preset or software, I'm never going to use it. You know, it's just money I could have used buying a lens or something else, something more that I would use and appreciate more. But okay. And oh my goodness, thank you, Thomas, so much. I really appreciate it. Every little bit helps, because you guys know that the channel, the videos, the YouTube, it just doesn't pay anything, and these little $3 coffees, $5 super chats, things like that make 10 times more than I'll ever make on a video. Um, God, I think I made like 68 cents or something on my last vlog, in terms of YouTube revenue. And I spent like 5 hours from door to door, like from out the door back to my house, just vlogging. That first vlog I did, 5 hours of vlogging, and then I spent 6 hours of editing, and I made 69 cents. I mean, it might eventually get to $1 or $2, right? But seriously, there's every little bit you guys donate or help me out just is made a big deal to me. Um, so thank you so much. And Arthur says, Roderick, yes, Rod, the comment was in reference to the owner of the MWUGs. Okay, gotcha. And Thomas, let me see. Thomas had more. Let me catch up here. Well, here's some feedback on Pure Raw. Okay, that's good to know, Michael. Yeah, maybe I'll try it. I mean, like I said, I can't imagine any photos that I do over using it, but because if I remember correctly, it creates a separate DNG file, so now I got to have twice the disk space, or I use twice as much disk space for each image, which I'm not a fan of either. Like I just deleted another 100 gigs of videos. Those two vlogs I did, that was almost 100 gigs of video. And that's only 1080p. We're not even talking like 4K stuff. Um, and Thomas says, a man of his word, he sent it to me, no charge, and he paid the shipping. He refused payment, suggesting that I contribute to charity of my choice. I don't remember what that's in reference to. But I do know that a lot of times that does ring a bell. It must have been a while ago. I know recently I spent a couple hours with one of the viewers here in a Zoom call, helping him with his photo editing and stuff. And um, on my website it says $75 an hour. But when he emailed me and he wanted to set up a time to do some editing together, I just said, "Don't worry about it. Just let's Zoom call and I'll help you out. You don't have to pay me." And so he did a couple hours on the Zoom call, and then he ended up sending me a donation anyway for the exact amount that I would have normally charged, the 75 an hour. So that was greatly appreciated. Might have been you, Thomas. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's been my memory is so bad. I think it was you. I think that's what you're talking about, right? We spent a couple hours on the Zoom call, and I said, don't pay me. Just if you want to send some money, send to charity or whatever. I think that was you. I'm sorry, I can't remember, Thomas. My memory's so bad. Um, and yeah, I did look at your Flickr today. I did. Oops. And let's see. John knows John Truman that I spent a couple hours with. Yes, I remember. Um, it wasn't Thomas. It was John. So thank you, John. I really appreciate that donation. Um, Well, this is well put, Steve. You're never going to make a bad shot good, but you can make a good shot great, right? That's excellent. I really like that. Um, and Seraphin says, I feel the same. Plugins and presets are waste for me. Same with all the extra features in camera. I prefer to shoot more like film, and probably why I like the M5 series more than the M1. Yeah. Honestly, I like the Pen F because it has all those bells and whistles that you can't get on any other camera. It's just for fun. But I like all the things. Read the post immediately before the one. I am. This one, Rob, does PayPal still give you the most percentage of donation? I will switch to whatever. Yeah, the PayPal is the best. Like I said, if you do the buy me a coffee, it works out to like 6% I lose. And if you do PayPal, I lose about 3%. And if you do a super chat, I lose about 40%. Because YouTube takes about 40 or 50% of whatever the super chats are. PayPal's average around 3%. And then Buy Me a Coffee is 6%. Because what Buy Me a Coffee does is it goes to my PayPal account, but Buy Me a Coffee takes their 3% before they send it to PayPal. Then PayPal takes their 3%. So if you really want to donate and support the channel, the best way is PayPal, whatever link I have down here that I'm covering up right now. Um, Michael says, lately I've been uploading FOMOS almost straight out of camera and doing what Rob says and trying your best to do it in camera. With Olympus, this can be fun if you play with the art field. Yeah, absolutely. I do that a lot. I need to get back to that after I finish these vlogs. Because like I said, the last dozen, I mean, I would say 90% of my images, if not more, on my Instagram are straight out of camera, JPEGs. But the last dozen images, there was about 6 on one photo walk, 6 on another. Those were lightly processed, for color mostly. I like to separate the colors a little more than you get straight out of camera. To push, to push the greens and the reds in this case, because I'm in the woods, right? So what is there? There's greens and reds in the wood. I like to push those and separate them a little more. Then you get straight out of camera. But I can do that in the Pen F. If I take the Pen F out, I can tweak it in camera and do that. But it's just as easy to do in post processing, right? It's kind of half of one, six of the other kind of scenario. And thank you, Mike. Yeah, PayPal's best. And Jonas, oh yeah, I went to your Flickr page. I really like that upside down boat picture. That was cool. And you recently joined my forum, which was cool, and talked about how I think you were shooting with the OM film cameras before you moved to digital. Uh, but yeah, I like Jonas. I like Johnny. I think it's Johnny. Johnny. I don't know how to pronounce it. Hopefully I didn't mess that up too much. And but yeah, I love looking at all you guys, your pictures and things. You guys are most of you are much better photographers than me and been doing this a lot longer, like probably since I was born in some cases. Um, so I'm always impressed when I see your pictures and I got some criticism on one of my pictures today on Instagram. Um, which it was just a a waterfall picture, long exposure, so the water got smoothed out. And it was from one of the vlogs that I did that I haven't posted this. This is what I'm going to post today. But it's a very technical shot, and a lot of the images I post on Instagram are for educational purposes, right? That's why when you go to my Instagram, you always see all the specs that I use. The aperture, shutter speed, ISO. If I did any art filters or if I did any exposure compensation, I put all the technical information in there. Um, it's not I'm not posting them because I think they're great images. I mean, they're the better images that I take. I'm not going to put up my crap, but um, I would say the main purpose of my Instagram account is to kind of share some of the pictures I took, but also for the educational purposes, right? Sharing the settings that I use that are very unique to Olympus cameras in a lot of cases. And I'm going to, like I said, when I vlog, even my vlogs, I put all the settings up. I try to think out loud what I'm thinking on the settings in the camera that I'm using. Like I'm particularly dialing exposure compensation, right? That that's part of the decision process, and then the camera does the rest. You're an aperture priority, so I choose the depth of field because sometimes the on the 75 in particular, my God, the depth of field is so shallow. I have to bump it up to f4, f5.6 so that I can at least get what I'm taking a picture of in focus. Because flowers and branches and trees are all different distances from the lens, right? Um, but anyhow, yeah, I that's I got criticized on one of my images, and I don't mind. I'm open to critique. If somebody says my picture is total crap, it's okay. It probably was. But um, the person that critiqued it was very kind to explain what he thought was wrong with the image, and I agreed with everything he said. Uh, but I had to give him the context of why I post images, because a lot of people don't know. I post images up there mainly for the educational content or purposes, not so much that I think they're great pictures. Every now and then I'll have a winner, but for the most part, it's more about a lot of beginners that come to my channel find my Instagram, and it helps them when they see the settings. So they start thinking about all of the settings. Because, sometimes the settings don't matter, right? The camera's doing all the work, right? It's not like I had anything to do with it. But at the same time, seeing the settings over and over again, you start to think, right? Oh, aperture, shutter speed, ISO, exposure comp, highlight shadow adjustments. Maybe it was an art filter applied, all of that. Or if I edit it in Lightroom, I say in the Instagram post, I edit it in Lightroom. So pronounce it any way I want, huh? Okay, John. I think it's Johnny. Johnny, because you got John, Joan. I'm gonna say Joan. I don't know. Whatever words come out of my mouth. I don't mean any offense in any way. I do the best I can. Um, and Jeff says, if you do a PayPal payment as friends and family, there's no charge. Oh, okay. Oh, that's not necessary. I don't want to man, that would be a lot of work. The friends and family, everything. I don't know how that works. I just have that link. That's good enough. 3% is not a big deal. But thanks. I'll look into it though, just in case. Um, and Guzman, how are you? Sorry if you already talked about it, but what are the main differences in the photos taken with a 45 Pro 1.2 and those taken with the 75, other than the ones derived from differences in focal length? So if you're saying that focal length aside, because that's an obvious difference, right? Really, I don't think there's much difference with the photos taken. In theory, I mean, I don't own the 45 f1.2 to give you firsthand feedback on it. So I'm just thinking in terms of my expectations are not going to be very high for the 45 1.2 Pro relative to the 75. I think the main differences are really in the physical differences between the lenses. The 45 1.2 Pro is designed at a much higher standard in terms of quality, right? So it's going to have higher quality metal used to build the lens. It's going to have weather sealing, and it's going to have higher quality optics built in. It's also going to have higher quality focusing motors, so it focuses faster. And there's probably going to be a lot more attention paid to the aperture blades themselves and how they're shaped and how many aperture blades you have so that they produce more pleasing bokeh or blurry backgrounds so that it's smoother and more buttery. Um, Premium lenses like the 75, the idea is to achieve close to professional level type lens quality, but they're probably not going to spend as much time, putting in the very best focusing motors, paying as much attention to the creamier background. It's not as much of a priority as it is in a 45 millimeter, in a pro lens, I should say. The pro lenses, they have a lot of attention to detail. The other thing I noticed about pro lenses is that the close focusing distance is a lot shorter. So, like I said, the the 45, the 75 millimeter at a close focusing distance of something like this, right? And the my 12 to 40 Pro has a close focusing distance like this. So the optics are designed to be more flexible so that you can do more things with the lens than you could otherwise. Um, Another thing they will do with Pro lenses like the 45 is um, they're going to put more attention to the coatings that they put on the lenses so that you get better contrast and less flaring and less chromatic aberrations and less defects in general, so that every square centimeter, millimeter, whatever the measurement is, every square, everywhere that that light hits the sensor in the camera is as perfect as it can be. So that's the main difference between pro and premium or regular lenses, kit lenses, is they put a lot more attention to details in the optics, the usability, the durability, longevity, and um, and overall quality of the image, right? In terms of chromatic aberration, distortion, and bokeh quality. So there's a lot of things that they put into thought. Now the differences may be very subtle to most people, right? Like if I shot with the 45 and I put the 75 and shot with that, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to spend, $1,500 for a 45 millimeter. You know what I mean? Because the differences are so small to me. But to a professional, if I was a portrait photographer like Jimmy Chang, right, who does weddings and events and things, I would buy the 45 1.2 Pro because it's a money maker for me, right? It would be a lens that I use to make money. But for what I shoot, architecture, you know, 8 millimeter fisheye. I just go wide, and it's a pro lens. The 8 millimeter fisheye is a pro lens, and it's very good. The 12 to 40 Pro that I bought it initially because I thought I needed a constant aperture, low light zoom, so I could do video work. And I rarely use that lens for photography. I use it mostly when I'm doing my video work, which I haven't had a good video job in a long time. But anyhow, that's a really long answer, but I hope that helps you understand the differences between pro lenses and premium or other types of lenses that Olympus makes. Okay. Oh, Scott's taken off. Okay, Scott, we'll see you later. Thanks for coming in. And the harsh critique of your image, I'm on his Instagram gallery and really can't see the basis of his criticism. His images are not exactly gallery worthy. I know. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Arthur. So, I look at some Ansel Adam images and some Cartier Bresson, or, I look at all these images, right? Um, and, yeah, a lot of them are like magical and awesome, but sometimes I'm looking at it, I'm like, why? What's the big deal with that image? And maybe it's because I'm just looking at it on you know what I haven't done yet? So anyway, long story short, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You never know what people are going to really love and pay for. Like those stupid NFTs, man. People paying millions of dollars for a freaking GIF. I mean, I don't get it. Let me fix this other camera real quick. I went through all the trouble setting this thing up, and I'm not even using it. Let's see. Yeah, now we're talking. I'm coming a little lower. I have my behind the scenes shot here, which I've been kind of digging this shot. Oh. I gotta put it in the right mode. This is my EM5 camera. Let's see. Is it this button? No. This button. Oh, now it's too tight. I gotta back it up. God, what a mess. I thought my desk was clean, but then when I see it, oh, it's still. I'm in movie mode. Why is all that showing up? Well, I'll just put a memory card in. Oh, but there's grid lines. There. Oh, clean signal. Okay. Oh, it's not clean. There's grid lines. I know nobody cares about this, but it's bugging me. Oh well. And the white balance is off. And there's grid lines. Screw it. I got too much to talk about to waste time with that, right? Or too much to read here. Um, Hi Rob, how you doing? Hey Siegfried, how are you? Oh, you like the 75? Yeah, it's a great lens. Thanks. Yeah, I got so much good feedback on. I did another vlog. Like I said, I'm gonna post it tomorrow, if not tonight. Steve says, I think if it's not about if somebody like your shot, as long as you like, that's all. Yeah, it's all about the journey, right? The the journey is the destination, as they say. That's what I like. I had fun getting out this morning, getting some exercise. Man, I need to lose some weight. Like this shirt I'm wearing, man, it should not be this tight on me. It should not. Oh, I mean, if I was bulging muscles and popping buttons with, like like Superman, but it's not. It's just I'm just packing on some weight. It's terrible. I'm very vain, by the way, just in case you guys don't know. And oh, you're welcome, Guzman. I'm glad that helped. And Rob Trek even found you on Instagram. Yes. Uh, I was trying to pop up this message here. Okay, the 12 to 42.8 lives on my M1. It's a great lens, yes. And I think that's true for many people. The M1 with a 12 to 40 Pro, that is like bread and butter. I mean, that is the perfect match. And I did take it out about 2 years ago when I went to the Shenandoah Mountains. And that was my go-to combination, the M1 Mark II with a 12 to 40 Pro. It's so perfectly balanced and works well together. On my EM5, my Pen F, my PL8, that lens is just awkward to me. I don't have a good feel for it, and I'm perfectly fine with the kit lenses. But definitely when I take my EM1 Mark II out or 3, that lens is definitely the way to go. This one here. It is working, by the way. I know some of you are asking me about this. Remember, I left it out in the snow and the lens filled up with ice inside, and it took me 2 weeks to get it dry. Uh, but it's working fine now. There's a couple little water spots inside, but and I got some washers that I never got back. Some, the little metal washers. Some of those kind of came out, but anyhow, yeah, this lens on the M1 Mark II, this is perfect, perfect, perfect combination. And the images and everything are just amazing out of this. So if I rarely take out my EM1s for photography and photo walks, to be honest. Um, these are my pro cameras that I use on my paid work. I usually take out my EM5 or my Pen F, but for for people that own just this camera with a 12 to 40 Pro, man, this is a sweet combination, no doubt. And David, oh hey David, how are you? Can the EM10 2 or 3 be a webcam? No, it cannot. You need a camera. If it's an Olympus camera, it needs to be capable of tethering. Um, Meaning, um, now the EM10 2 you can use as a webcam if you have one of those separate HDMI cards, right? Um, like I did a video on one. Next time I see you, I'll give you one. I have one here. We're going to the photo walk next week, right? So I'll give you my HDMI card. It's I have an extra one. I'll give it to you, and you can try it on any of the cameras. You'll need to get an HDMI cable that matches your camera, uh, and the other end of the cable needs to be a regular HDMI. So I use like a mini HDMI to HDMI cable. But I'll give you my HDMI card because I use this fancy pants video switcher now. Uh, so I can do things like this thing right here. I don't use my HDMI cards anymore, so you're welcome to it. So next time I see you, I'll give you that. If I remember to bring it, I will. I'll try, but I will be at the photo walk next week, and I can give you mine. But the M10 too, you can. I've done it before. It can be done. I'm not sure about the 3. I think your wife has the M10 Mark III. It should work. But I don't have an EM10 Mark III to be able to prove it, right? But I know you can on the EM10 Mark II. Um, Pen Pal, yeah, the Pen F. I love the 12 to 45 f4 Pro. Yeah, the 12 to 45 f4. That's an awesome lens for just about every other camera other than the EM1 Mark II. I think on the EM5 Mark II and 3, the Pen Fs, man, that's a perfect lens. Um, that's a lens I might consider getting. Um, because as much as I love kit lenses, I mean kit lenses rock. After shooting with this 75 for the past week, it's like seeing how sharp the images can be with a good lens. I'm like, wow. Because like I said, I rarely take my 12 to 40 Pro out, but now that I'm shooting with the 75, I'm like, wow. But I don't like the 12 to 40 because it's just not balanced for me on my smaller cameras. Yes, the 12 to 40 and the 40 to 150, you can cover just about everything. Absolutely. And, oh, hey, Roberto. Good vlogs. You know, Roberto, if you guys search for his name on YouTube, he has his own YouTube channel. He's posting some photo walks now, which is awesome, with his dog Jerry. So definitely check him out. But NFTs are crazy. Most are crap, but it's a new way for legitimate photographers to sell their digital prints. Yeah, that I looked into it. I'm still on the fence. But you know, a few years ago, I thought Bitcoin was a bunch of BS, so I didn't buy any. I could have bought some Bitcoin for like nothing, like $25 for a Bitcoin. Whenever I was looking at it, and um, and now look at it, you know. But in 6 months, it might be back down to zero, because it's not real. Of course, money isn't real in general, right? It's just paper. But I don't know. It's beyond me. I'm more of a, straight and narrow guy. If anything that goes too far outside of what's kind of normal, I get lost and confused. And Siegfried says the 35 to 100 f2.8 is gold. Yeah, from Panasonic, right? That is an amazing lens. That was on my short list for a while. I'm not interested anymore, but for a long time I wanted that lens. And then says the 12 to 45 has a phenomenal close range. And this goes back to what I was saying about pro lenses. They really have very close focusing distance, right? Um, and here's some validation here. Definitely check out Roberto's channel. Very entertaining. Yes. Yeah, he has a very different sense of humor. Um, or a sense of humor, I should say, because I have none. When I'm doing my vlogs, I'm so serious when I'm doing my vlogs. But once I start doing them some more, I will. Oh, it's my mom. Hello, hello. Yeah. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. Thanks. My mom brought me some soup or something to eat. So why don't we take a 5 minute break or 2 minute break? I need to go see my mom, and then I'll be right back. So we'll take 2 minutes here. Um, I'll switch over to this screen. Oh, good timing. Now I'm really hungry. It's not soup though, it's some kind of mandu or something. Oh, mm, I need to get some water. I feel like I got stuff between my teeth now. Um, where did my chat window go? Here it is. Yeah, dollars aren't real either. It's just having faith. Yes, so true. Just take off that useless lens. Yeah, and it'll be better. Sure. I'm a big fan of lens hoods. It's not useless. It protects the lens, right? Because I'm always just dropping. I never use lens caps. I'm always just dropping stuff into my bag and stuff. And I stack things sometimes, so it's like it keeps the lenses protected. Soft Fun says, haven't got one, but thought the 12 to 45 would be too big for the. I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. I mean, it's not a pancake lens, right? But still, I think it'll be fine. If I get one, I'll show you guys. But I have to get one cheap. I just don't have the money. It's been yeah. Anyway, let's see where we're at. I said take 5 minutes, and probably everybody left. Right? Is anybody still here? um, yeah, that's so true, right? The only women that'll really love us. Yeah, Jeff thinks I should have my mom on the stream. No, maybe though. Maybe one day. That might be fun. I can like hand her a camera and see her, ask her to take a picture with it. I went out with a friend of mine the other day on a photo walk, and I gave her the EM5 Mark II to take pictures with, right? And I just put it on auto, iAuto, not even program it. I put it in iAuto and just let her take pictures with it. And so she starts touching the shutter button like this. And she's like, it's not taking any pictures. She thought it was like a cell phone, right? Where you just touch it and it takes a picture. She's like, how come it's not taking any pictures? It just shows you how little people know about cameras. When you hand them a camera and they just have no clue how to use one. Um, I mean, even just pushing the shutter button is like something new to people, you know? I thought that was pretty amusing. And Ed says, any plans bumping up if I say old glass filters or Coke and even black and white? I don't know what you mean, Ed. I don't have any Coke and filters. I have some very cheap filters that I bought. You buy like a pack for 30 bucks, some graduated like filters that I've never used, maybe once. But they're cheap. They're just plastic. They're not even real glass. The only filter I really use is my like 10 stop ND filter or my variable ND filters. Those are pretty awesome. Like I showed in my vlog. And I did one today too. I used my 10 stop ND filter, but that's the only one I really use. We need to have virtual mom delivers food during streams, making something noosh. Ugh, she didn't make this stuff, I don't think. Because usually when she makes something, she puts like 10 different things in it. This is just very simple stuff. I think just frozen stuff and then reheated. I don't know why I keep telling her, don't bring me food. I'm fine. Plato says, anybody had a broken lens hood on the 12 to 40 Pro? Mine broke when I took the camera out of the bag. Found third. Yeah, I use a third party one. I don't have the original. I bought my 12 to 40 Pro used and there was no lens hood. And Ed says, any plans to play with creative or green or oh yeah, you were asking me about this, I think, and maybe somewhere, not here, but well, yeah, I think in the forum you were asking me about this, right? Or maybe on one of the posts on Instagram. I don't know. I just read that. I only have blue and red filters. I don't have anything else. But I did watch that video by Matty Salanto recently where he was using red filters on his digital camera and how it was different than using red filters via the menu, right? Doing it in camera, digitally using a red filter. He was using a real glass filter. So that got me intrigued a little bit, but the filters I have are too small, I think. Um, I got this whole box of filters. But I got oh dang, why is this in the box? This is a nice one. This is a nice polarizer. Where's my blue filter? Well, anyway, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I got a red. Man, that should not be in that box. This is my box of junk filters. I don't know why I keep these things. I should just chuck them. These are all junk. But I just can't bring myself to throw stuff away, It's like there's about a dozen filters in here. Damn it. I keep thinking I'll think of something to do with them. It's a shame to kind of just throw those things away. I'll give some thought to that. I don't know. Like I said, I have a red one and a blue one, but I have to see if I have the step rings to make it fit anything I have for Olympus, because these filters are mostly for my Nikon vintage glass, like my this is a 52 millimeter ring size, which is kind of a weird size for Micro Four Thirds. Those are all 52 millimeter. That's why they're in this box. Come to think of it, I got a whole box of this stuff too. Oh man, that's heavier than it looks. I got this big old box. Can you guys guess what's in this? This is these are lens caps. All different size lens caps. These are these are camera covers. Lens caps. Some more filters. I have all these. Just loads. These are like what do you call those things? These are adapters. Like this is my, where is it? Yeah, this is my Micro Four Thirds to M42 ring adapter, lens adapter. Here's some. Oh, these are extension tubes for my Nikon. More body caps. All kinds of crap. Lens hoods. More lens hoods. Rear cap covers. From a lot of this stuff is my Nikon stuff. From when I was shooting Nikon a lot. But I keep it all in this box. So if anybody watching is in my photo club and you need some lens caps or rear caps or filters, let me know. I'll just give them to you. What is this? Oh, you know what these are? It's hard to see, right? But these are the if anybody can, I know what they are, but if anybody can tell me what they are, man, I'll be impressed. Can you tell what those are? There's three of them in there, but there's one right here, this one. I'd be impressed if you guys know what that is. Okay. Yeah, I need to have a cleanup garbage day. That's true. Some movies used to use leaf filters like low contrast and fog filters as they were made acrylic. Oh, okay. Yeah, the filters I have are just see, I think these are, no, these are my infrared filters. I bought like a cheap set of infrared filters. They're kind of fun. But there's some things I do, like I do it once and then I'm like, I don't need to do that again, Infrared's kind of fun, but I did it once or twice. Like taking a picture of the moon. Once you do it one time, it's like you really don't need to do it again. um, Man, I got this whole box of lens filters too. This is I think this is where I keep the other ones I was talking about. Got these giant ass filters. No, it's not in here. Why? Oh, here's my blue filter. Oh, and here's my red one. A little plastic baggie. I have a red and blue. But these are 49 millimeter, I think. No, these are 52s also. Yeah, this is all my Nikon filters. Never use them anymore. I had these little filter pouches, right? Well, you guys know. 55 millimeter. That's another common Nikon size. You know, the vintage Nikon stuff. I was really into adapting vintage Nikon glass onto my Sony NEX when I shot with that. Don't do it so much anymore. Siegfried is saying you can do the same with the. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not for me. Yeah, you can buy those step up, step down adapters. Yeah, I got a boatload of those. I'm sure I can step up and down to the right size. I just have to look for them. It's in that same box I just showed you, actually. These are these are all my step up, step downs. So I can go, here's a 49 to 55, a 55 to 58. I'm sure I have it. 49 to 50, but you know, I'm going to end up using 5 or 6 step rings just to put a filter on. But yeah, I got a whole drawer full of those. But what the heck, just do it once, right? Have some fun. Why not? That's why we do photography, right? The journey is the destination. Wow, this must be an expensive filter because I kept it in the case. Let's see what this is. It's not. It's just a variable ND filter by Photasy. Wait. Oh, okay. What size is it though? 55. I must have a lot of lenses that have a 55 millimeter ring size. And Morgan says, I still use a star filter to catch the light on waves of light. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. I remember Peter was showing off his filter box in one of his videos. And he had a star filter. Yeah, you know, I have a star filter somewhere. Somewhere I have one. I haven't touched it in 10 years, but yeah, I have one. Or probably 30 years. Because, you know, back in college, I was shooting with my OM2 with film, and I bought some of those filters from back then, you know. And Plato says the other day I tried spot metering high, normal, center weighted. They all came up with the same shutter speed when in aperture priority. That's not right. Um, you're doing something wrong. I have a video on spot metering. So, not spot metering in particular, but metering. I'm pretty sure I did cover spot high, spot low. So you're definitely doing something wrong because the shutter speed will definitely change. Coke and P series filters are worth getting as you just need different adapters to use on lenses. Yes. Um, I think, yeah, if I had to do it all over again, I'd go back. I would probably go to the Koken style type filters where you just have the step rings for the one box and then you slide in and out whatever filters you want. Because a challenge I have now is I got all these different size filters and I need all different kinds of step rings, right? It's just awkward if as opposed to just having one box and then you carry your step rings and you know, I mean, in the end, it seems like it would be the same difference, right? Because you're still using step rings, but it'd be a lot easier, I think, to just have one one like little pouch full of your Koken square filters, and then a pouch for your step rings, and you're done. Versus this takes up a lot of space, right? Anyway, I get that. You said once you might do a vid on the zone system. Oh my God, yeah, I remember. I haven't thought about that in a while. I keep it in mind, but yeah, I might do that. The zone system. Um, I haven't forgotten about that. But the zone system, man, that's the problem with doing a video like that is, and you know, I shouldn't care, but it's like opening up a can of worms, right? Because there's very hardcore set of people that say the zone system doesn't matter in digital photography. And then you have just as many people that say the zone system still applies even if you're doing digital photography. So I feel like if I do a video, and this is part of why I'm not doing it, I feel like if I do a video like that, it's gonna just bring in a lot of. I shouldn't care. I should just do whatever I want, right? Make a video, and those people that like it will watch it. People that don't will troll. uh, I'll have to give that some thought, though, Thomas. Yeah, the square filters. Yeah, I have some graduated square filters. I just, like I said, I bought a very cheap set from this brand here, Newer. I think this is actually the filter pouch case for it. I just use it for other stuff. And I took all those square filters and threw them in a box somewhere. I never used them. I should be more organized. I mean, I try to be organized, but at some point, it's just I got to start throwing stuff away or giving it away. Just said we used to use DR15 denier stockings. Oh yeah, yeah, that's cool to kind of soften the skin and stuff. Yeah, I've seen people do that. Oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, they just don't design things sometimes like they used to, right? Um, I can't think of any good examples right now, but there are times when I look at vintage type gear and I say to myself, you know, why don't they make things like this anymore? You know, that makes sense, that are practical, where it's more function, where it's function over form, right? Yeah, it doesn't look good, but man, functionally, workflow wise, everything is so much better with some vintage gear. Whereas a lot of today's stuff is so proprietary, you can't just go from one system to another. Um, like, let me, well, this is a totally different thing, but I bought this I bought this light meter. It doesn't work as far as I know. At least I never were able to get it work. But this is a vintage light meter, probably from the 1950s. You know, let me try and get a close up for you. Um, okay, focus, focus. Hello. Do it this way. There. Let's see. This thing is beautiful. This is a beautiful piece of equipment, and it's solid metal. Comes in this beautiful leather case, and this thing flips down to, you know, measure the light. You flip this back up, and I don't know. You know, they just don't make things like this anymore that are just super solid and well built. It's amazing. Like I said, I don't think this works, but I only paid like $5 for it or something, you know. But I thought it was cool, so I got one. And I was just so impressed with how well it was made. I mean, let me tell you how much this thing weighs. Oh, I got all my filters out all over the place now. 200 and I can give you a good shot of it here. Let me zoom in. Focus. This thing is beautiful, though. I mean, anyhow, I'm with you, Arthur. On old stuff is amazing on the designs. Yeah, it looks like a Star Trek communicator, doesn't it? Where's my communicator? Oh, I have it in a glass shelf now. Can't believe that thing's worth like 500 bucks now. It was like on sale for 50 or 100 bucks. I got one for Christmas and now they're selling for like 500 bucks. Um, Siegfried says, one of the things people forget is the camera metering system sees what the lens field of view allows us to see. Using a separate light meter sees 180 degrees or what you allow it to see. Yes, you're right. You're right. Because the camera, the light meter's inside the camera, which only sees through the lens. So it's only going to see light coming through the lens. Oh, John follows. Let's see if you called it. I think you're right. It is a Weston. It's a Weston Emulsion Speeds, Weston Electric. All right, let me get my old man glasses on. Weston Universal Exposure Meter. That's all it says there. Master 2. I don't see the word master anywhere on this. But you're probably right. Wow. I may have missed it, but did anybody guess what this other thing was that I was showing earlier? I don't even know where I put it down now. Remember the little things I was holding up in a case? Did I put it back in the box? Oh, I know the kind of the layman's term for what it is. I don't know the official name of it. I don't even know where I put it now. Um, Jeff Painter says Weston were my first meters. Wow. So I'm not showing you guys anything new. That's cool. Uh, Steven says I got a Russian Leningrad 4 light meter to go with my Zorky. I don't know what those are, but it sounds cool. Wish I had one. NASA's calling me for the communicator, the Artemis Mars mission. Sure. Okay, Randy, we'll see. Oh, what time is it? We'll see you later, Randy. Only it hasn't been quite 2 hours yet. But we'll see you. We'll see you, Randy. You're probably gonna go out do some shooting. Randy has his own YouTube channel now too, so check it out. He's doing a just drive-by type photography now, but it's cool. Rob Triggs, it just says light on it. Maybe a sin meter. They left the master off in the US. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's amazing though, the quality of the stuff they used to make. Anyway, that other thing I was showing, I wish I could show you again. The other thing I was showing, did anybody guess what that is? I'll tell you what it is in a second. Oh no, you lost your EM10, Randy? So John, how does this thing work? I mean, I took the back off, right? And then I pointed up to a light, but nothing happens. Does this use a battery of some kind? Or is it like one of those selenium type cells? I don't know. Oh, you're bidding on an EM5 Mark III for 650. Wow, that's cool. 650 is a good deal. Anything under 800 for an EM5 Mark III in excellent condition is a good deal. But you can get them from Olympus directly for about 850, a refurb. Oh, John's. I'm sorry. John Trim is asking. That's it. Yeah, those aren't bad. I know David Tellett uses one, and they work really well. I actually ordered another one from Alibaba that's coming in, within a week or two. So when that comes in, I'll let you know. Uh, but the Sayconic sells one, and I think Revany, like you were saying, I'm gonna have some coming. I'm gonna have one for myself coming in another week or two. So when that comes in, I'll do a review on it or something. Not a review, but I bought it for myself. So I'll just take it out and use it because I have a lot of film cameras where there's no meter in them, right? Or I don't know if the meter is really reliable. So certainly my couple of my cameras have no meter at all. So I bought it for those cameras. So we'll see. But I know David Tellett uses his all the time. He likes it. Oh, here we go. John says it's selenium. If the needle doesn't move, it's dead. Okay, it's dead then. It's not doing anything. So let me try again. Yeah, I got nothing. And I assume these dials here don't do anything for the needle, right? These are just for reference, right? Like a slide ruler, but it's round. But all the same, for $5, just to hold something of quality, even if the selenium has died, it was worth it to me. But yeah, it'd have been nice if it worked. But I didn't buy it because I thought it might work. I was pretty sure it wasn't going to work when I bought it. They didn't say. But anyhow, it's cool. Oh, okay. Let me tell you what that other thing is. Oh wait, pen pal has something. Things you should earlier were used for the aperture pin on the old. Yep, the rabbit ears, right? I call them rabbit ears. But I have a Nikon. Oh, where is it? Of course. Anyway, the old Nikon lenses, the f mounts, right? The very old ones, the vintage ones, had these rabbit ear mounts on top that were for controlling the aperture of the blade via the dials on the camera. And since I was using them adapted on my mirrorless cameras, every time those frickin' rabbit ears would like tag me in the shirt or my pants and pull a thread. It was really annoying. Or when I was putting stuff in my bag, the lenses in my bag, it was like, it was always catching on things and pulling things. So I just took them off. I saved them in case, I was ever going to resell those lenses. But yeah, you got it. Good job. Um, yep. Yeah, Arthur. Pen pal got it, definitely. And Steve, he bought the Leica and Whopper on Nat service for his songs, Superb All Metal, etc. Masterpiece. Wow. Anything Leica is nice, right? And I was just thinking about this. Um, wait, Randy has some update on his EM10. I have an internal rattle that is faint, but there nonetheless, even walking in the back. Oh, huh. Yeah, something got loose inside. I would think it might be, you know what, I bet it, well, sometimes little pieces of a memory card break off inside the camera. I had that happen once. It eventually worked its way out, but That happened to me once, and then uh, I had a screw come off inside my one of my Nikons, and it shorted out the circuit board. So I sold it for parts. Um, so if it's a metal piece rattling around in there, yeah, it might short out the circuit board eventually. But if it's like one of the plastic bits off your memory card, you should be all right. It's just annoying. Your off-road was too much for it, huh? What was I going to talk? I was going to talk about one other thing. Um, uh, I can't remember now. Let me pull something up. Maybe that'll jog my memory. What the heck was it? We were talking about the rabbit ears. This thing. Yeah, EM5 Mark III for the internal mic, definitely. You could do that with an EM5 Mark II, honestly. You don't need to get the EM5 Mark III and save like 300 bucks, Randy. EM5 Mark II has a good mic jack in it. Your bones are starting to rattle. That's fine. Um, but okay, why don't we call it here? Because I can't remember the other thing I was going to talk about now. I have no idea. But stay tuned for my vlog. I'm going to do it. I have another vlog I'm going to start editing shortly after this. I end the stream. And then next week, maybe another Olympus fine print video. I made a list of things that I want to go over in my fine print video. And let's see. And then of course more photo walks this week. I'm going to do as many as I can and vlog while I'm doing them because it seems like a lot of people like them. So uh, look for that. But otherwise, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. What's left of it. Have a good week. And thanks for spending a couple hours with me. I had a great time as always. Um, so take care. We'll see you again soon. Oh, I still forget how to end this thing. I got a button here. I'm so lying. There's no button anymore. Where is it? Oh, this one. Okay, you guys, we'll see you later.